Hello everybody and welcome back to our clarinet lessons. Today we're going to be looking at an even more complicated piece by Thomas Gregory called Hen Pecked. Before we start playing, as we always will, we're going to make sure that we are warmed up. We would have already put our clarinets together, so we've got the bell, bottom joint, top joint, barrel, mouthpiece. Make sure that this bit is lined up behind these keys here. Can you see that? It's quite difficult to see, so you have to make sure that you're always pressing down the nose to make sure that this one here, can you see, moves so that the other bit gets stuck behind it. You need to make sure that your reed is in line with your top register key here, and then you should be ready to go. Okay, so let's start off by warming up our tongues. So I'm going to make some tonguing sounds and you're going to repeat them back to me on my clarinet. Here I go. Very good. So now our tongue should be nice and warmed up. Now let's warm up our fingers. So again, we're going to start off with our favourite note, or my favourite note, the note G. It's my favourite because I'm being super lazy and I don't need to use any fingers. So here it is, G. Repeat back rhythms after me. Now we're going to use the note F. So remember, for an F, you need to use your thumb and you put it at the back there. Repeat back after me on an F. Great, now let's go lower. So we're going to add the note E this time. So we've got our thumb and we're going to add our first finger to cover that hole there, making sure that we are playing an E. Remember, make sure that your fingers are covering the whole of the hole and that you are starting each note with a ta sound, not a ha sound. Here we go, me then you. Great, next note we're going to play is a D. So we've got G, F, E, D. Me then you. Fantastic. Last note we're going to play today is the lowest note that we've ever played on our clarinets, which is the note C. So we've got G, F, E, D, C. Me then you. Good job, everyone. Now we're going to learn a brand new note because I'm being so impressed by your progress and your attention and everything like that. We're going to introduce a brand new note. Now it's quite lazy. It's similar to G. We're only using one extra finger. We are going up. So we had C, D, E, F, G. We're going to add the note A. So you use the bit of your finger here, of your first finger. You're going to push it onto this key here. You see this one here? If I move it, opens the key up and down. So this is the note A. So me then you on an A. Oh, whoops. Very good. We're going to try doing an A and then G. Me then you. Great, everybody. Well done. That's fantastic. Okay, let's have a look at our brand new piece of music today, which is called Hen Pecked, which is written by the fantastic Thomas Gregory. Structure of today's session, warmed up, done. We're going to learn this piece, then we're going to play it with me slowly, and then we'll play it with the backing track at tempo. Remember, all of the backing tracks can be found on YouTube or on Spotify. You just type in Vamoosh, clarinet, and then whichever piece we're doing. So in this instance, it's going to be Hen Pecked. Okay, let's have a go at figuring out the Kadai signs for the first bar. Have a look up here in my back to front Kadai grid. We've got one of these here. So it's not color, it's coloured in and it's got a stem. It's therefore called a ta, and it therefore has one beat. So it's going to sound like this: ta, 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 ta. Excellent. Let's look at the second bar this time. Can you see that there are two pairs of these notes here? These are called T T, but because there are two pairs of them, it's going to sound like this: T T T T. Very good. Let's put it together with the rest of the bar. So we've got those four T's, then we've got one ta, and then we've got this squiggle here, which is a ma. Now remember, because it's a rest, we make a m sound, not a t sound, and we make sure that we whisper it instead of saying it. So it'll sound like this, the whole bar. T, 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 ta. Now, those of you, which is all of you, because you're all superstars, I bet that you figured out that the rhythm of the first four bars is identical, okay? So it's just that same pattern again, going ta, 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 ti, 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 ta. So can we say that rhythm pattern 4 times? We're going to clap it, making sure that we're clapping the notes, and when we've got the rest, we do that. So here we go, ready? All together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 ti, 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 ta, 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 ti, 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 ta, 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 ti, 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 ta, 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 ti, 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 ta. Yes, well done, everybody. Okay, next step, let's figure out the notes. So we've got our stave here. Remember, because we are reading the G clef, G is on the second line. If the notes go higher up the page, we go round the musical alphabet this way. If they go lower down the page, we go round the musical alphabet this way, okay? So the first note is on this bottom line, therefore it's 2 steps lower than G. So we go 2 steps lower than G, it brings us to an E, okay? So we've got E, G, E, G. So can we just practice saying that first bar all together? Here we go. 1, 2, say the notes. E, G, E, G. Fantastic. The next note is 1 step higher than an A. Sorry, 1 step higher than a G. So it's going to be an A. So that first 2 bars this time. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. E, G, E, G, A, G. Excellent. Look at the third bar. It's the same as the first bar, so we don't need to practice the third bar. Let's have a look at the last bar of the first line. The 4 quavers, or our 4 TTs, sit into this bottom space here. So it means it's between this E and this G. So it must be an F. And then the last note in that bar is then 2 steps lower than an F. So we go 1, 2. So it's going to go F, 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 D. Okay, can we try saying the notes of the whole of the first line? Here we go, all together, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. E, G, E, G, A, G. E, G, E, G, F, 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 D. Very good, everybody. Next step, let's say a mime. So, here we go, 2, 3, 4. E, G, E, G, A, G, E, G, E, G, F, 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 D. Very good. You might want to pause that and just practice that a couple of times before we go on to playing it, because we're using our brand new note A. Let's now try playing that first line. I'm just going to lower the screen so you can see my fingers. Here we go, all together, first line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, guys, well done. If you want to practice that a couple more times, pause the video, rewind it, just so that you get your fingers around those notes. Let's have a look at the second line. Do we need to practice the first 2 bars of the second line? No, is that you say? You are right. It's because the first 2 bars of the second line are identical to the first 2 bars of the first line. Thanks, Thomas Gregory, for making it nice and easy for us. This is great. Let's have a look at the third and fourth bars of the second line. Now the rhythm is the same as before, but the notes are very, very different. Okay, this is actually quite tricky because we're jumping around, we've got lots of different notes, but I reckon you guys can figure this out. Okay, so just take 10 seconds to figure out all of those notes, and then we're going to say those notes all together, remembering to use your fingers and your musical alphabet to help you. 10 seconds, off you go. Okay, here we go. Let's say those notes. Ready? 1, 2, say the notes. E, G, E, C, D, D, E, D, C. Very good. You might want to practice saying those a couple more times. Now, if we can say it, we're going to say and mime it now. Here we go. 1, 2, say and mime. E, G, E, C, D, D, E, D, C. Very good, everybody. Can we now try playing just those 2 bars that sound like this? Actually, I'm going to keep my screen down so you can see it. Here we go. Ready? 2, 3, 4. Very good. I'd recommend having a little practice of that. So pause the video, rewind it so that you can get your fingers around that. Okay, I want us to now play the first 2 lines, but we're going to make sure that we are getting the highest possible outcomes of this performance by making sure it's really, really musical. Okay, so the first things that we need to do is accuracy. You guys are going to get that sorted because I know that you'll play the right notes with the right rhythms at the right time. Technique, easy peasy thing to get right. We're sitting like professional musicians with our back straight, holding onto our thumb rest, making sure that we're starting each note with a t sound. Interpretation is something that we can get loads of points for now, okay? So if you have a look at the first 2 crotchets, so our E and our G, can you see that there's a nice smooth line between them, okay? That's called a slur, and it means that you're going to play them nice and smooth. So just have a listen to me. Can you see that I didn't tongue between those notes? So this is it tongued. This is it slurred. So can we try that, please? There you go, 2 slur the notes. Very good, everybody, well done. This time, we're going to go on to the second bar, and can you see that we've got these staccato quavers? It means that you need to play those short and spiky, the same as when we had them in Blue Blazes. So it'll sound like this. Okay, so I'm just going to sort out my reeds, it's a bit funny. So I want you to make sure that you're making a really, really clear contrast between the first bar, which is super, super smooth and slurred, and the second bar, which is super, super staccato and short and spiky. Think about a hen pecking in that second bar. Sounds like this. Great. Okay, can we try playing the whole of the first 2 lines? Again, if you want to freeze it and rewind it and practice it, then brilliant. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good work, everybody. Okay, we're now going to go, I'm just moving myself up here. We're now going to go on to the 3rd and 4th lines. Now have a look. Can you see that we've got some notes in the 2nd, 4th and 6th bars that have got these crosses on them, okay? That means that we're going to do something different than playing our clarinets. We're going to do a bit of choreography. Now we've been instructed that we're going to stamp our feet in the 2nd bar. In the 4th bar, we're going to spin around. I've not really got enough room to spin around, and I can't really get my laptop at the right level, so I'm just going to do a half spin. In the 6th bar, it says something else. You can do whatever you want. Just be careful, don't drop your clarinets. And then we keep playing. So what we're doing in the 1st, the 3rd and the 5th bar is really practicing our fingers and practicing that slur technique that we just did, okay? Now the rhythm of those 3 bars is pretty easy. Sounds like this. Ti, 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 ta. Let's say it all together. Ti, 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 ta. And again, ti, 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 ta. Last time. Ti, 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 ta. Very good. Let's say the notes of the 1st bar of the 3rd line. So it's going F, E, F, E, F. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. F, E, F, E, F. Good. Let's say it, mime it. 2, 3, 4. F, E, F, E, F. Let's play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Let's try slurring it this time. So we're not going to change anything with our tongue. Listen. Let's try it all together. Brilliant, guys. Let's skip forward 2 bars. So don't worry about the stamp your feet bar. We're going to the next bar. We've got exactly the same rhythm. We've got different notes this time. So this time we're going to go E, then 1 step lower to a D, then back to an E, D, E. Let's say it all together. Ready? 2, 3, 4. E, D, E, D, E. Very good. Let's play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Let's now slur it. 3, 4. Great. Now let's skip down to the 4th line, first bar. We've got that same rhythm again. We're practicing from this note here, which is our D, then to a C. So let's just say those notes. Ready? 2, 3, 4. D, C, D, C, D. Good. Say it again. 2, 3, 4. D, C, D, C, D. Great. Let's now say it, man. 2, 3, 4. D, C, D, C, D. Good. Let's play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, let's now try slurring it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Right, let's now try playing those 3 bars with a bar off each time, trying to do the slurring. Don't worry too much about the choreography just yet. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, now E and D. Get ready for D and C. Very good, everybody. Now let's just have a look at the last 2 bars on this page, and then we're about a third of the piece through. I told you this piece was trickier. It's quite a lot longer, but I reckon you guys can manage. You're going to be absolutely brilliant. So last 2 bars of this page, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to figure out all of those notes. Remember all that stuff that we've been doing before about this is G, this is 1 step lower, then back to a G, and then jumping all the way down. 10 seconds, figure out the notes. Go! Okay, let's say all those notes together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. G, 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 A, G, D. Very good, everyone. Now, I forgot to go over our Kadai rhythm. So can you see that at the very last bar, we've got 2 of these notes here? So these 2 aren't coloured in. We call it a 2, and they're worth 2 beats, okay? So can we try it, making sure that we're being really, really careful of those 2 notes? Ready? 1, 2, say the notes. G, 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 A, G, D. Very good. Can we try saying and miming it this time? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good work, everyone. We're now going to try playing the whole of this page, and I'm going to just minimize my screen. Oops. There we go. I'm not going anywhere, don't worry. Right. Okay, we just have to remember that the last note after those 4 quavers is a D. Okay, here we go. Nice and slowly from the very beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. E and D. 2, D and C. Last 2 lines. Here we go. Good job, everybody. When I said last 2 lines, I meant last 2 bars. But oops. Okay, let's now go on to the rest of the piece. Okay, now let's just use our detective skills. So this is the first page, this is the second page. The first line looks pretty much identical to me, and the second line looks very similar. So actually the only bit of new material that we have is we just repeat the last 2 bars. So can we try saying and miming the whole of the second page? Then we're going to play it. Ready, say mine. 1, 2, here we go. E, G, E, G. A, 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 G. E, G, E, G. F, 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 D. Second line. E, G, E, G. A, 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 G. E, G, E, C. D, D, E, D, C. And again. E, G, E, C. D, D, E, D, C. Great. So all that happens at the end is just, they just repeat themselves. It's like saying the same thing twice. Okay, let's try playing the whole that second page, and then we're going to play the whole thing with the backing track. Here we go. Second page. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice, everybody. Well done. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to play it with the backing track. Okay, it might just take me a moment to get the backing track organised. And remember, we can find this on YouTube or on Spotify. Okay. 3, 3. Good work, everybody. Well done. Thank you so much for joining me today to play our clarinet. I hope that you had a good time. Homework for this week is, please can you make sure that you can play everything in this piece, particularly the slurred quavers in the second section. Okay, I suggest that you start your practice from there, because that's the bit that I think is the trickiest of doing this new technique with our slurs. And then what I want you to make sure that you're doing to improve the interpretation is make sure that your staccatos are super, super short and spiky, and your slurs are really, really nice and smooth. I'd also really, really like it if you could perform this to somebody at home, and if you could make a recording of it and maybe send it to your friends. But really well done. Thank you for tuning in. Keep practicing. You guys are doing fantastically, and I'll see you really soon. Well done.